Hello, welcome to our unique learning system math lesson. My name is Charlotte Lucas. I am an autism low incidence mentor teacher with Richmond Public Schools, and I am delighted to be able to work with you today. Our math lesson today is a measurement lesson titled Spending the Paycheck. First, we will do vocabulary related to the topic. Then we will use models to solve word problems. Okay, we have a lot to do, so let's get to work. So we're going to be solving word problems. And the word problems that we're going to be solving, we will be using coins and dollar bills. Okay, now when we are using dollar bills, I like to use a hundreds chart. If I use the hundreds chart, I am able to count and use a visible representation of what's going on in my head. You know, when you're counting money and you have a visual that you're working with, when you get to the store and you're thinking, that chart will come to your brain and it'll help you to remember. So I like to have a visual when I'm working. So we're going to be working with dollars and we're going to be working with coins. If we're working with whole dollars, we're going to have a dollar sign and we're going to have a decimal. And the decimal separates the value of the whole dollar from the cents. If you have cents, you don't have a whole dollar. It's like a fraction. You have part of a dollar. You don't have a whole dollar yet. You don't have a whole dollar until you have 100 cents. And this chart is sequenced in ones. It's also, you could skip count by fives and tens in order to help get your answer. So if we're working with dollars, we're working with the dollar sign and a decimal. Everything to the right of the dollar sign, that's cents or change. Everything to the left of the dollar sign are whole dollars. If we're working with a dollar, we need a dollar sign and we need the decimal. The other values that we're going to be working with are, excuse me, quarters, dimes, and nickels. Here is a quarter. A quarter is 25 cents. The value of a quarter is 25 cents. Now, we write the 25 and we use a cent sign. You notice that with a cent sign, we do not use a decimal. So we can write 25 cents. We don't have a decimal, and we can skip count by 25. Also, when we're counting out our coins, instead of counting by ones, we're going to skip and count by 25. So our progression would be 25, 50, 75, $1. So we're able to use the high value of 25, skip count, so that we are able to count our money. The next value that we're going to be working with are dimes. This is also, the value of a dime is 10 cents. We have our cent sign. We do not need the decimal. And if we're using a dime and we're using our chart, we can skip count by 10. And you notice that when you skip counting by 10, you just move down to the next number on the row. So if I'm skip counting by 10 and I start with 5, and if I add 10, it's just going to be 15. If I add 10 more, it's going to be 25. And you just move down when you skip counting by 10 on your hundreds chart. The next value that we're going to be using, of course, is a nickel. A nickel is 5 cents. We have our 5 with our cent sign, no decimal, and we can skip count by 5 using a hundreds chart. And with the hundreds chart, the pattern that you see, 5, 10, 15, 20, we skip count all the way to 100, and we can use this when we're counting. It becomes a visual for when we're thinking in the stores, and it helps us to count our money. But if we're counting by ones, it would take too long. We would have to count from 1 to 100. So instead of doing that, we're going to skip count. Skip counting is also like multiplying. We'll talk about that another time. All right, let's see what kind of word problem that we have that we need to solve today, because we're working with word problems and we're working with real things that can happen to you and your environment. So with this word problem, let's see what we can get from it. Brent is spending the money from his paycheck. Now, Brent is spending money from his paycheck. There's an inference there. There's information there that tells us something about Brent. Brent is spending money from his paycheck. That means Brent has a what? Brent has a job. Brent has earned himself some money and he is ready to go out and spend it. So if he's spending the money for his paycheck, how much will it cost? And we're going to count the coins to find out the answer. So this item is 67 cents. And we're going to use our coins to come up with the value of 67 cents. Now, I know you know how to do this. We're doing this to just warm up because in a minute, we're going to add dollars. And then we'll use that to charts to also count using dollars. So 67 cents, we want to skip count using the highest value first. And that would be a quarter, which is how much? Right, 25 cents. So if we're using the chart and we're using 25 cents to count with, we can skip count using 25, 50, 75, $1. The amount that we're working with is 67 cents. So how many quarters would we need? 25, 50, 75. 75 is too much. We're going to use 25, 50. Okay, and let's see how that works in our problem. So we have 25, let's add another quarter, 25, let's count it, 25, 50. Very good. We need some more money. We only have 50 cents. What coin can we use next? Well, the next high value coin is that's right, it's the dime. So if we're using the dime, and we're on 50 cents and we're trying to get to 60, all we have to do is add how much? 10 cents. Excellent. And that will bring us to 60. How many 10 cents will we add? If we add 2, we're going to get to 70, 50, 60, 70. So we're only going to add 1. So let's count again. 25, 50. If we add a dime, that will be 60. Right here, we need 67 cents. We could add 7 pennies, but let's see if we can make it a little bit easier. If we use our next value, we could add a nickel. We went 50, we added a dime, 60. Now we can go to a nickel, 65, and then add our penny, 60, 65, 66, 67. Let's see how that works with our money problem. 25, 50, 60. You count with me now. 65, 66, 67. Very nice. Let's see if we got it right. Skip count with me, please. 25, 50, 60, 65, 66, 67. Very good. All right, you know how to do this. This is not going to be hard at all. Let's try another one a little bit higher, then we'll get into the dollars. Brent is spending the money from his paycheck. That's the word problem. How much will it cost? And we're going to count the coins. So he wants to buy this magazine, and it's 89 cents. And that's a very good price for a magazine. So that's a good idea to buy it, Brent. So 89 cents, we need to figure out how to, what coins we will use to get 89 cents. And we know we're using coins because it is not a dollar. It is not a dollar. It's 89 cents. It's on the right side of the decimal. It is not a whole dollar yet. So it's 89 cents. We do not use our decimal. And let's see, we want to start with our highest value for coins. And our highest value for coins is a quarter. And we skip count by the value, which is what? 25 cents. Excellent. 25, 50, 75, $1. We have 80 cents on this one. So let's see how many quarters we'll need. 25, 50, 75. That's as far as we can go because the next quarter, if we added another one, it would be $1. So let's stop at 3 quarters. Let's see how that works in our problem. 25, 50, 75. All right, we have 75 cents. Now we want to get to 89 cents. 75. Let's see. Let's look at our chart. Get our visual. If we're at 75 cents, we could add a dime. Here we are at 75. If we add a dime on the chart, all we do is what? Move down. 75, a dime would be 85. If we have 85 cents and we're trying to get to 89 cents, 85, that's your nickel. 86, 87, 88, 89. The pennies, we count on from 85 to add 1, 2, 3, 4 pennies. So let's go back to our problem. 75, what can we add? A dime. Very nice. That will be 75. And if we add 10, it will be 85. Very good. 25, 50, 75, 85. We have 85 cents. We're trying to get to 89 cents. 85. We can count on 86, 87, 88, 89. All right, count with me. Let's see if we did it correctly. 25, 50, 75, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. Excellent. Good job. Let's go to the next problem. We've done a great job with this. That was just a warm-up. That's the easy stuff. Let's see if we can do, how much is this? Mary Beth. Now, Mary Beth is spending the money from her paycheck. We can infer also that Mary Beth has a job and she's spending her money. She's using her paycheck to spend her money. Okay, how much does it cost? Find the amount of money. So, $2.16. Did you hear me say and? When you see a decimal, you say and. Okay? You never say, if this number did not have a decimal, it would be 216. But when we have a decimal, we know it's money. We have our dollar sign. We read $2.16. Okay? She's trying to buy this item here, $2.16. Well, will we use quarters? The highest value, if we look on the left side of the dollar, of the decimal, I'm sorry, the left side of the decimal, these are whole numbers. And if it's a whole, I'm sorry, these are whole dollars. If they are whole dollars, then we will use dollars. How many dollars will we use? 2. Okay, let's see if we can solve that part. How many dollars? 1, 2. $2.16. So we always want to start with the highest value, and we're using place value now. In the tens place, there is a 1. In this case, would we start with quarters? 25 cents would be too much. So the next value would be what? The next value would be dimes. So we want to get to 16 cents. We can start with a dime, with this, which is 10 cents. Add 5 cents, which will be 15 cents. Let's see if that works. We're trying to get to 16 cents. 10. Then we're going to add what? A nickel. All right, add a nickel. 10, 15. If we add another nickel, it's going to be 20 cents. So we're not going to add a nickel. We're going to add what next? A penny. Excellent. All right, let's count up what we have. 1, $2, and 10, 15, 16 cents. Very good, very good. You got this dollar thing all worked out. Let's try another one. All right, how much does it cost? Again, we have $2. Remember our decimals. means we're going to say and, very good, $2.90. No pennies. In the ones place, there are no pennies. $2.90. We have our dollar sign. We have our decimal. All right, let's see if we can figure that out. We're going to look at our chart again because remember, a chart helps us to have a visual in our brain so that when we go to the store and we're thinking about how much money we're going to spend, we have it in our brain so that we don't have to pull out the chart. It'll already be there. This is our visual. And we know we're going to start with dollars on the left side of the decimal, our $2. We're going to start with $2. Then it says 90 cents. We can start with quarters. If we start with quarters, we're going to skip count by 25. 25, 50, 75, a dollar, too much. Let's stop at 25, 50, 75. Let's try that. Let's see what we get. We know on the left side of the decimal point, we have 2 whole dollars. So we can put that in. 1, 2. 2 whole dollars. Now $2.90. And we decided that we were going to skip count from our highest value, which is 25. We're going to start with 25 cents. How many quarters will we need? 25, 50, 75. See how we remembered that? We have that visual in our head from the chart. 25, 50, 75. We don't want to go any farther because that'll be too much. 25, 50, 75. Excellent. 25, 50, 75. We're trying to get to 90 cents. Now we've got 75 cents. Let's go to our chart. Let's figure it out. We've used our quarters. Let's see if we can use our dimes. We have 75 cents and we're trying to get to 90 cents. 75 cents. We can add a dime. Remember, if you add a dime on the chart, you just move down one row. Right under that is what? 85. 75, 85. That's $1. That's 1 dime. And look, to get to 90, 85, 90, we need to add a what? A nickel. Excellent, because we can skip count. If you know it, you could use nickels, because if you went 75, 80, 85, 90. Excellent. You would have 3 nickels, but we know 2 nickels equal a dime. 2 nickels, 5, 10. That would be 10 cents. So the highest value next would be the dime. So we'll use the dime because we don't want to give, all of those coins. Let's just keep it simple. So we had 75, add a dime, 85, add a nickel, 90 cents. Let's see if that works for us. We have 75, add a dime, 85, add a nickel, 90. Let's see what we get. We're going to count it. We need to have $2.90. 1, 2. We have our $2.90. 25, 50, 75, 85, 90 cents. Excellent. Oh my, you have done a great job with that. Let's see if we can do another one. $2.90. Ooh, this is $3.51. Mary Beth is spending the money from her paycheck. How much does it cost? Find the amount of money. We can read this. $3.51. Dollar sign, decimal point, $3.51. How are we going to make that happen? What do you think we're going to do first? We're going to start with quarters? Nope. Can't start with quarters. Why not? Why wouldn't we use quarters for this? The decimal point, on the left side of the decimal, we have some whole dollars. How many whole dollars do we have? 3. We have 3 whole dollars. So we're going to get our dollars first because no sense using quarters. That would be a lot of quarters. That would be 4 quarters, 4 more quarters, 4 more quarters. Wow, we wouldn't want to do that. Too many quarters, let's use dollars. $1, $2, $3. Now, let's try the 51 cent. How will we get 51 cent? The highest value we're going to start with on this one is how much? We could use dimes. That's right. We could use dimes, but 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It would take 5 dimes to make 50 cents. Could we make it simpler? Could we have all of the coins available to us. Could we make it simpler? Let's look at the chart. We could use dimes. Let's try quarters. 25, 50. 2 quarters and we have 50 cents. That is simpler. So let's try that. 25. We'll use our quarters. 25, 50. Excellent. 25, 50. All we need now is to make this 51 is what? We don't even need the chart. You don't need the chart. All we need is what? 1 cent. So let's get our penny. Put that there and let's count our money. See if we get it right. 1, 2, $3 on the left side, 3 whole dollars. And how much? 51 cents. 25, 50. Excellent. 51. Let's do it again. 25, 50, 51. Excellent. We have $3.51. If we move on from there, the next one is $4.28. Mary Beth is spending the money from her paycheck. How much does it cost? Find the money. That's our word problem. We're using the money models to find the answer. We're looking at the value, $4. We have a dollar sign and a decimal point, $4.28. We know on the left side of the decimal point, those are whole dollars. So we can go ahead and put our whole dollars in there. How many whole dollars do we have? 4. So let's put that in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. $4. And the change, 28 cents, less than $1. $4.28. Remember, on the right side of the dollar, all of the value is in change, coins, and it's less than $1. All right? So let's see how we can do that. We want to start with our largest coin, and our largest coin is what? 25 cents. Let's see if we can do it this time without the chart because we have a visual in our head about what we've been doing. So the first coin we're going to bring out is 25 cents, and we need 28 cents. Should we add a dime next? Let's check and see. Should we add it up? We have the visual in our head. Let's see what we remember from the chart. If we add a dime, we would drop down. We're at 25, and we move down 1 row. What would be the next number after 25? If we move down 10 cents, 25, 35. That's too much. We only want 28. We have 25. We could count on by a nickel. Well, if we add 5 more, 25, and a nickel would be 30. A nickel is still too much. Let's try pennies. 25 pennies, 26, 27. But we count on using pennies, not skip counting, and I think we'll have the answer. Let's give it a try. 25, 26, 27, 28. But tell you something. Let's count this, okay? Because you all are doing a great job. You have moved through this much more quickly than I thought. So our next lesson is going to be adding money because you already know how to do this. Excellent. Let's count. $1, $2, $3, $4 and 28 cents. 25, 26, 27, 28. Very good. I'm thinking the next problem is $4.75. This is going to be our test question. We're not going to use a chart. We're going to use this as our test check question to see how much you can do without having to use the chart, because we have the visual in our head. We have a visual that helps us to remember how to count the money. We know that this is, let's read the question first. We're doing word problems. Let's read the question first. Very important. Danielle is also spending the money from her paycheck. Everybody's working, everybody's getting paid. They have a paycheck. We can infer that from that information. She is spending the money from her paycheck. That means we can infer that she had a what? Job. Excellent. Danielle is spending the money from her paycheck. How much does it cost? Find the money. So how much does it cost? $4.75. Excellent. You read that very well. So that was the first part of the test. Can you read it? Because if you see the value, you need to be able to read the value. $4.75. You got 100% on that. Excellent. Let's see how we're going to think through to get the answer. We want to start with the whole dollars first. How many whole dollars do we have? 4. Excellent. So let's put $4. We're not going to use coins. Thank you for saying that, because these are whole dollars. You get an A for that. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Excellent. So we have our $4. What are we going to do now? Start with the largest value. Okay. And what do you want to do with which value do you want to start with? We have the quarter, dime, nickel, and penny. What's the highest value? What do you want to start with? Quarters? Okay. Let's start with quarters. Let's see. 25. What are we going to do now? We have 25 cents. Continue. Which value are we going to use for 75 cents? 25, another quarter. Okay. Let's count. 25, 50. You just keep counting by the highest value, which is your quarter. What are we going to do now? You're going to go to dimes, nickels, pennies. You want to stay with quarters? Why is that? Okay, let's try it. Let's try. Oh, okay, let's count it out using quarters. 25, 50, 75. Very nice. That will give you exactly what you need. You don't need any more coins. You don't need any dimes. You don't need any nickels. Very good. 25, 50, 75. Let's see if we have the full value. $4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And how much? 75 cents. 25, 50, 75. Very good. You did an excellent job. I'm very proud of what we've done. Let's see if we can review. We're using models of money to solve our math problems. To help us solve our math problems, we're using the hundreds chart. We know that it takes 100 pennies or 100 cents to make $1, and we represent $1 with a dollar sign, and it's a whole number. It's 100% is the whole thing. All right. So 100 pennies is dollar sign, 1 decimal point, and 0 cents. No cents. $1 is $1 and 0 cents. All right. Also, we talked about the quarter. The value of the quarter is 25 cents, and we can skip count. We can skip count by 25 to get to 100. 25, 50, 75, $1. Skip counting by 25. We talked about the dime. The value of a dime is 10 cents. Skip count by 10 cents from 10 to 100. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Excellent. We will skip counting by 10. The value of a nickel, if we skip count by a nickel, which is 5 cents, to get to 100, our pattern changes. We skip 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. If we're counting by pennies, we're counting on. So from 95 to 100, and we count on 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Okay, so we can use our chart to skip count. We know that if we have 100 cents, we have $1. Very good. You did an excellent job today. So the next time we get together, we'll be using dollar signs, decimals, lining them up, and adding money. I hope you'll be ready. I had a great time. See you next time. Bye-bye now.